Good evening, fans from around the world, and it's the Great Britain Grand Prix this weekend. Silverstone, it's called. And with me to preview the race is Biodu Manjoko. Biodu, you are very welcome. Uh, Basically, we want to start from the very hot topic that happened in Austria, the collision between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. As it was, I just want to refresh our minds. There was a controversial collision between Max and Lando, resulting in damage to both cars. Max was given a 10-second penalty while Norris had to retire. So George Russell unexpectedly won after, after took advantage of the collision. So just a few thoughts and a reflection on that incident. Once again, some people say Max is at fault, which you rightly alluded to when we had the combined show. Some people say it's the instinct of a driver to want to defend. What are your thoughts again before we start to preview the Silverstone 2024 Grand Prix?
Thank you very much, Afolabi, and it's great again to be on Formula One Fanatics here today. Yes, like we saw a very entertaining and hungry Grand Prix. Where Mercedes AMG actually won their first win in the calendar year. Kudos to Mercedes, kudos to George Russell and Toto Wolff and the team. And they have made several upgrades, and it was good that they were able to take advantage of that golden opportunity given to them. Like rightly said, I think the incident between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen is one of those things we don't want to see in racing, in the world of racing in general. But it was something that happened. I think they just wanted it way too more, and they were very good, both aggressive. But it's also important for a racing driver to also know when to yield when you do not have the space, or you don't have the racing line, or the braking line. You should know when to yield and give up the position and believe that you have the pace to fight back and overtake on the track. And I think that was what caused the contact between both teams, because Max, we know how aggressive he is when driving. He brought out his elbows and did not want to yield the braking line zone, and that kind of caused the collision. But I'm sure I know one thing he has done is he might not come out openly or publicly to say it, but I'm sure he would have apologized to Lando in person. And I'm sure because of some of the comments that we've been hearing ahead of the British Grand Prix was Max came out openly to say that what really concerns him was not about what everybody is saying in the world of motorsport, but all he cared about is his relationship with Lando Norris. So I believe that he would have, behind the scenes, he would have apologized in person, in closed door, and we hope to see a good race come this weekend in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
Okay, so basically, if we look at the Silverstone track, it's I think it's longer than the one in Austria. It's about 5.8 kilometers. That one. Once again, we have DRS zones, just like we had in Austria. And where DRS zones exist, there will always be opportunities or what happened between Max and Lando to occur again. So what do you think can be done, considering the fact that McLaren has closed the gap so well to Red Bull and they appear to be very competitive? I mean, back in January or the first quarter of the year when the season started, Red Bull were threatening, to just blow everybody away. But fair play to Mercedes and McLaren, they've actually closed the gap and it's looking very competitive now. So in a circuit like Silverstone, where you have DRS zones, I think there are two actually, and a lot of sharp corners and straights. What do you think FIA can do to tweak this their law? Because inevitably, if both drivers, want it as badly as they did in Austria, we could have something close to what happened in Australia. What do you think the FIA can do? Do they need to adjust this law? They leave it that way? Should it be the drivers to caution themselves from driving, recklessly and endangering the other driver? What do you think, Biodo?
Yeah, thank you. I think for the FIA, I think they have put in a measure, some level of regulations and measures to curb potential clash or clashes. But one thing Formula One experts are well concerned is about is the stiffness of some of the penalties for breaching some of these regulations and rules is not well stamped upon or is not strong or stiff enough, and that's why we see some racing drivers continually breaking and bending these rules. I think if you look at it, I think like some of what is expected to happen in 2026 in the Formula One world, DRS would no longer be available for the racing drivers to give that extra 20-kilometer speed for overtaking. So that has been cut off in the new regulations going into 2026. So those races will be based on pure pace from and engine power from the car. And
Okay.
we hope to see that. I think these are some of the recommendations that were made, and the FIA has taken that into consideration ahead of the new regulations in the coming years. And I think, like you rightly said, the Silverstone track it has only two DRS zone, and there's also a straight line speed corner, speed
In
trap,
fact, if you look
like
at
the
the DRS zone
yeah,
one, there's a
yes.
corner there, a very, very sharp corner there.
Yes, overtaking corner. So there's the DRS zone in the first sector and second sector, and
Sector.
the straight line speed trap in the third sector. So the DRS also can also be activated in turn 14 to turn 15, because from straight line speed the rear wing will open. So particularly the Red Bull, they really capitalize on this, and this circuit actually favors Red Bull because of the pure pace and straight line speed they have with the downforce of their car. So, like you rightly said, it's going to be an interesting track. I think it's going to be between McLaren and Red Bull. I know so many things are coming. A few things are coming with upgrades into Silverstone, and many of them have been saving the upgrades for Silverstone.
Yes, that was exactly what I was going on to next. Let's first of all, before we go to the upgrades, today it was announced that Oliver Bearman, who they comically called the Jude Bellingham of Formula One, signed for Haas till 2025, a precocious Formula One talent that came from Ferrari. Now, can you just briefly talk about Ferrari's relationship with Haas, and why do you think the boy has signed for Haas? We remember that he was drafted in for I think it was science earlier on
Times
in
when
the
he
year
had his
in Saudi
appendix
Arabia when he
surgery.
had the appendix surgery, and he put up a very, very impressive showing. What do you know about Oliver Behrman?
Yeah, like you rightly said, Oliver Bierman, his rookie season, the reserve driver for the Ferrari team, stepped in during the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix for Carlos Sainz when he had his surgery, and got on the score on the points on the drivers' championship. So it was a good one for him. I think looking at career-wise, Oliver Bierman had no choice. Looking at Ferrari offering a 2-year deal to Lewis Hamilton, despite the departure of Carlos Sainz at the end of the season. So he looked at his career and said that he can't be a reserve driver. He wants to start driving in Formula One a real time. And an opportunity came where Haas, looking forward and looking to increase their image branding. I think one of the new consensus for the Haas team coming into the coming years was that they wanted to have one German driver and one other driver that is a non-German in their squad. So I think that kind of favored Oliver Bierman coming in. I think he's a very fantastic talent, and he's a very good driver. The Formula 2 champion a couple of years ago. So if it's all about competence and quality, he has it. He just has to show the world that this talent, he can deliver it in the biggest stage. And congratulations to him and congratulations to us. And we know how Haas has been performing from the last Grand Prix in Austria, finishing P6 and P8 for Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, overtaking Alpine on the constructors championship with those 2 point finishes. So I think it's tremendous one for Bierman moving into a house.
Yeah, I think he's 19, Abby.
Yes, Oliver Bierman. Yeah.
He's 19 years old. I think he's coming in to replace Magnussen. I don't know, Mr. Collision himself. He appears to be the obvious choice of replacement. What do you think?
Yes, and no, he's coming in to replace Magnussen. I think the Haas brand still wanted the German driver to be with their team, so that is what has saved Nico Hulkenberg's seat, being a German. And so let's see what Haas will do coming into the new reign of Oliver Bierman.
Some people are suggesting that they could get him a new partner, possibly Ocon of Alpine or Valerie Bottas. I don't know. Do you think they would actually want to get him a new partner or just not want to upset their apple cart?
No, I think for a team like Haas, it's not good to change. You can't change two drivers in a season. It's not a good
Strategy.
um, yes, it's not a good strategy, and it affects synchronization of team. And most of these teams also do preparations ahead of new season. So that is based on feedback the driver is providing to the mechanics in the garage. So you can't just throw out everything all down the garbage and start afresh with two new drivers. So I think sticking to one change is actually the best strategy, knowing that at least you still have a 100% chance of getting better results with an already existing structure working in place.
Okay. Max Verstappen is defending champion on this track. I think he won last year's one, and once again he will be the man
Silverstone,
to.
yes.
Yes. So basically, let's quickly go to the upgrades. Does McLaren, what does Mercedes, what does Red Bull, and the other, what do they have in store for us in this race? Let's move on to upgrades now.
Okay, thank you. I think with regards to the upgrade, there are quite a couple of teams coming into Silverstone with some upgrades. I know so many teams have been keeping their big upgrades for Silverstone track. I think let me start from down below and climb up. I think for Williams, the home race, the British team is also coming with a new light wing port under the hood to also improve corner performance and overall balance of the car. I know Aston Martin is also coming with an upgrade, but that has not been disclosed. And for McLaren, I think McLaren car is perfect. It's fast in the slow, medium, and high speed corners. So no much upgrade. I think they're just having minor updates which are yet to be known. And one thing McLaren need to work on is to add a usable downforce for their car. But I think overall their car is good, is excellent. What they just need to do very well is the synchronization of the car and preparation for the car. For Mercedes, which we rightly know, I think they confirmed a couple of weeks ago by Toto Wolff, the team principal of Mercedes, as well as Hamilton and Russell commenting that Mercedes will be coming with huge upgrades in Silverstone because it's their driver's home race. So they want the car to have the best and optimal performance they can have. Yeah, I know they are coming with a new change to the underfloor and a new diffuser specification, as well as a new side spot adjustment. So those are some of the big upgrades Mercedes are putting into the car to kind of increase more straight line speed for them. Likewise, I know Haas is also coming with upgrades. We know that the upgrades that they brought ahead of Hungary also played significant part in the double scoring results that they had in P6 and P8. And ahead of Silverstone, they are coming with also a new side pot and floor edge to boost high speed performance for Haas. And for Red Bull, knowing that they are their gap or their pace is being closed by other teams, I think they're coming with one of their biggest upgrades of the season in
A new front
Silverstone.
wing.
Yes, Marco confirmed that they're coming with a new front wing, which was inspired by what Mercedes and McLaren did, and as well as this new front wing that Red Bull is coming with would also synchronize with the new floor that they had brought ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix to help improve the aerodynamic performance. So you see that some of these teams are bringing this upgrade gradually to synchronize with what some of the existing upgrades have been as 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 shown looking at some of the data. That's for Red Bull. And I think lastly for Ferrari, the other thing that is coming with an upgrade, I think Ferrari are actually quite optimistic that this new upgrade that they are bringing would synchronize with some of the upgrades that they've brought yes in the past. But although yes, we know that the results have not actually quite been good or excellent for Ferrari. But I know that they've stressed that optimization will be key for them in Silverstone. So whatever upgrade they are bringing, it heavily relies on optimization. And we know that Ferrari has struggled with high-speed corners, and then the upgrade they are bringing is a new floor fence and a new front wing. And some of the projection for Ferrari is that they hope to get to the podium in Silverstone. But let's see what some of these upgrades these teams have brought in general to Silverstone. We'll try and look at the times in free practice and qualifying to come and give you guys some of our projections ahead of the Silverstone Grand Prix.
Okay, so let's talk about strategy, tire management, and of course, weather. I don't know, traditionally, does it rain during the Silverstone Grand Prix, or is it wind that we should be wary about? And then let's quickly talk about tire management and the teams that are expected to finish top five, really.
Okay, yes, I think in Silverstone, historically, it's known to be a very dry circuit. I know a couple of races in the last couple of seasons have actually had wet rain and it has actually been wet. But traditionally, it's always been a very dry circuit, and we know and wind also plays a significant part in Silverstone. It's always very windy. And I think the for tire strategy is going to be likely to stop race pit stop from the team. I think both teams, the tire choice might be likely be mediums and hard for both teams. It's going to be a two stop strategy for both teams, except for when we have maybe several incidences or clash, like maybe a virtual safety car, maybe
Is
some
it the
teams can
team?
take
Is it the
advantage of
teams?
that
Okay, is it the
to
teams that
take advantage.
determine the pit stops?
Is it?
The teams determine their pit stops.
No, it's yes, the team determine the pit stop, but also the tire that is supplied for each race. We know the tire suppliers are Pirelli, and Pirelli always when they supply the tire choices for the weekend, they always tell the teams that this tire can last for so number of laps before it bursts. This tire can last for so number of laps before it bursts.
Okay,
So
so
when
the
they know
pit
the total
stops are
number of laps when they know the
okay.
total number of laps in the race, it will now determine whether it's going to be a one stop or a two stop, knowing that the tire will not be able to last and degrade
That's
before
okay.
the end of the race.
But typically speaking, how long is a pit stop? How many seconds, minutes?
Now, I think the fastest pit stop in the history of Formula One has been 1.8 seconds by Red Bull, but we know that conventionally, a typical pit stop should be just under 3 seconds or 3 seconds.
Okay, okay, okay. So basically, for tires, what do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I think for tires, I think it's going to be mediums hard
Medium
or
tires,
it's going
okay.
to be hard. It depends on the temperature of the track, the wind, the wind temperature also of the race that does not affect the pace of the car. So it's going to be either medium hard or hard. So it depends on both things. But I think for qualifying, we'll definitely see them use the softs because the soft gives you a faster pace and a faster time. But during the main race, definitely we'll see them switch from medium to hard.
And okay. One might be tempted to say Lady Luck shone on George Russell in that race as he took advantage of a collision between Max and Lando, but he's been driving very well this season, especially in the last three Grand Prix. So that takes me to the predictions for the qualifying and the race. Let's take it from 1 to 5. Where do you think Russell will finish, and who are your picks for 1 to 5 qualifying first?
I think Yeah, I think in Silverstone, I cannot take it away from Lewis Hamilton. It's one of his favorite tracks. Yes, we know Mercedes do not tend to do well um, this season because of the pace of the car. But I think Silverstone is one of the tracks that Russell and Hamilton likes to perform, particularly Hamilton. They
Yes,
tend to turn up
It's
knowing
been a
that,
British
yes,
driver dominated race.
yeah, so they know it's their home race. So I know both of them would be in the top five. And I don't know in the order, Russell and Hamilton will be in the top five. I think a Ferrari will be in the top five. Sainz or
Okay.
Leclerc. I know Leclerc have had a bad couple of races in the last couple of weekends. So I just
Yes.
know one Ferrari will be in the top five. Then I think it's going
Yes.
to be the Red Bull, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris.
Okay. Leclerc, after winning in that circuitous processional Monaco circuit, adjusting to a standard, size may not have been easy for him. I don't know. He's not done well since his home victory in Monaco. But let's see if it's him or Sainz that will
Yeah.
do well here. A lot to be expected
Yeah.
of Perez too, at
Yeah.
least to
Just
improve on
I
his.
forgot to mention
Yes,
Piastri.
Piastri, yes.
I forgot to add Piastri. I think Piastri will also
Make
come
top
good
five.
in. Yeah, I think I will remove the Ferrari and put Oscar Piastri.
Oscar
I think Ferrari.
Piastri, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Piastri is driving very well now. And then for the final race, you are sticking to your predictions for the qualifying as well.
Yes, for the qualifying, I know Max. Max will take pole, and Max would definitely get the job done. I've said it that yes, his ruthlessness on the track tends to favor him, and I think he's going to get pole. Lando will be short again, and I'll be disappointed, but I know Lando will be short again. But I know Max will get pole because this track and this circuit in general tends to favor Red Bull because of the straight line speed and the downforce the Red Bull RB20 has.
I quite agree with you too. I think I'm going to pick Max, Lando, Hamilton, and then Piastri and Russell in that
Yeah,
order.
I think that will be the order.
Yeah, I think I'll pick them in that order because this Lando and Max rivalry is building up this season, and we're still going to have many more of it. It's been a wonderful session with you, Beardo. Thank you very much for your time. We have to draw the curtains on our show this evening, and we want to thank all our fans from around the world. Do have a wonderful evening.
Yeah.